I've spent weeks turning my garden shed from a dusty, neglected dumping zone into a functional storage space. And today we hit the real turning point. I'm starting my biggest project yet, the one that will completely transform this space. Yes, we're painting the exterior. But before any paint touches wood, there's a lot of prep to do. With unexpected complications and winter weather closing in, can I get it right in time? There's only one way to find out, so let's get to work. I have a confession to make. When I was planning my shed renovation, I might have completely forgotten about one space. And a pretty big one. You might have noticed that weird little door above the main entrance. And let me tell you, it leads to a real chamber of secrets. This attic/storage space runs the entire length of the shed, so it's actually pretty spacious and currently completely packed with junk. Mostly it's construction material. There's some old pieces of pipes, there's pieces of wood, there's also a couple of garden tools. Stuff that I don't necessarily need. All of the construction materials that are being stored in the attic put a lot of weight on the ceiling of the shed. The ceiling already started bowing. It's becoming slightly dangerous probably. And because I'm getting ready to paint the shed finally, I think I will completely get rid of this attic. But because no project in this garden, Reno, is ever that easy, of course, there are some complications. The biggest problem with this project is that I know for a fact that there's one active wasp nest inside. I can see them flying in and out. The problem is I'm not entirely sure where is it. So I will have to be very careful when moving the stuff to not get stung. Except of this, it should be pretty easy. Basically just hauling the stuff out of the storage space and putting them into two piles. One for wood and one for metal. Okay, I think it might be easier to work from this table if I can actually put it here. I'm not sure if this is a good idea. There's a lot of wasps on this tree right here, and I'm just not sure if they're getting ready to attack. I'm not sure what else I was expecting, but the wasps were not thrilled about me messing around with their home. At some point, I realized that my chances of actually clearing this whole space were basically zero. I think I have located the wasp nest, and I think it is underneath that. I don't even know what it is. I can see the wasps flying in and out. So what I'm going to try to do is to remove all of these pipes in here and maybe some of this junk that's on this side of the attic. I just found this. I think this is what's remaining from last year's nest. Wasps build new nests every year. In the winter, they basically all die except of the queen, I think. This was a slightly gross, but also pretty interesting find that allowed me to peek behind my enemy's defense lines. What I didn't realize was that I would be the one retreating. Respectfully, but at full speed. Of course, I was not shooting when this happened, but I basically just moved a piece of wood, and it was too close to the nest, and all of the wasps came flying, literally hundreds of them. So I had to run for my life. Nothing happened. It's all good. but I think it was a little bit too close for my comfort. So I actually think I might need to change my plans. I was hoping to remove all of the junk from the attic and then basically board the entrance up, but with an active nest there, but not exposed, so I also can't really spray it to kill the insects. I think I will just have to paint the shed as is, so with the existing door to the attic. This is not exactly how I imagined this project would go, but if there's one thing this renovation is teaching me, is that changing the plan is just a part of the process. This project is to be continued. I might have not been able to clean out the attic the way I wanted it to, but there's definitely a lot of other jobs that I need to get done before I'm ready to paint this shed. The biggest one is, of course, getting rid of all of the chippy paint. It's been a while since I last scrubbed paint off anything. How exciting. The paint was barely hanging on to the wood, so I grabbed my old trusted partner, the scraper, that was already battle tested during this challenging door renovation. After a whole day of scraping, I definitely made some progress, but it was painfully slow. I'm starting to stress out a little bit because you probably can't tell, but it's really freaking cold in here. Today I woke up in the morning, there was literally frost on the ground. So the winter is coming really fast, and this shed has to be painted before that happens. So I really need to speed it up. So I called for some reinforcements. Let's be honest, I don't have a ton of experience with power tools, and they always make me a little anxious. But if I stick with the little scraper of mine, I'll be prepping this shed until springtime. So I'm leveling up. It's definitely very fast, but not extremely gentle on the wood. So definitely don't try this method of stripping paint for any wood that you actually care about. These are some old planks, so I really don't care if they get a little scratched up. Boże, jak mi pan wystraszył! One of my neighbors just came over and he actually volunteered to take away majority of the pipes that we have removed from the storage area. So that's pretty awesome because I will not have to bring them to the junkyard and he will be able to reuse them for a project in his own garden. I'm not giving up, but my brush did, so I have to take a little break from this. Next on my to-do list is this little corner that's basically falling apart. I think what happened is that this corner was exposed to water damage and the wood basically started just completely falling apart. Right now it's super soft and you can literally rip it with your own hand. Of course, as per usual, I don't really have the right tool because ideally I would use multi-tool and cut it somewhere around here. But I have this other power tool that I think I can use, but let's see how it works. this shed looks a little different, but they all have some kind of trim around them. So I decided to use the scrap wood I found in the storage space to add matching trim around the door. I think the front of the house is now ready to paint. The wood is in place and I've attached the side piece of trim. I have one more piece of trim to install on top here. But I think this will be the last thing I'm going to do. I think I'm going to paint this first. Only a few more things on the side of the house and we're ready to paint. And by a few more things, I actually mean there's still a lot of paint to remove. But I did find out that once most of the loose paint is gone, it's much easier to sand the surface using an angle grinder with abrasive discs. Whew. I started sanding. And I got a little bit carried away and I kind of sanded the whole thing. It felt very easy today. There was a nice breeze here that was carrying all the dust away from me. It's really nice. I'm gonna have a really nice smooth surface to work with. But before I could wrap up all the preparations, this shed and my old good buzzing friends had one more surprise for me. I just decided completely on the whim that this little rotten piece of wood here really annoys me. And I opened it up and look at what I found. All of this is one like gigantic wasp nest. And that's also probably why this plank started rotting in the first place, because probably the nest was releasing some like moisture, I guess. Crazy, they're everywhere here in this shed. Like next year, I really have to watch out for them and make sure that they don't open new nests in here. Ugh, gross. And just like this, we are finally ready to wrap this project up. Guys, I think I finally figured out how to correctly use angle grinder for sanding. I don't know why, but previously every time I used it, I was having a lot of trouble with it. I was getting a lot of kickback. I was not feeling very safe using it. And I just hated the experience. I didn't think it's working all that well. I don't know what happened today. Something clicked in my brain and all of a sudden I was able to figure out the correct angle and the paint was just flying off the walls. It was amazing. If you're going to have a similar project in the future, I can highly recommend angle grinder with abrasive discs, and this is important. Use abrasive discs. They're a little bit more rigid than sanding paper. Sanding paper on textured wood is just falling apart. Frustrating experience. But abrasive discs, that's the thing to use. After 5 days of hard work, the shed is finally ready for new paint. No more junk weighing down the ceiling, no more flaking paint, and no more random nails sticking out of the walls. And just like this, we're basically ready for paint. This is what you're going to see in the next video. I'm going to be fixing the last windows from the side of the shed and I'm going to be painting this entire thing. So if you're curious about the final reveal, make sure that you subscribe to the channel to get notified about the next video. And thank you so much for watching today and I'll see you next time.